still.
Have you or family members served in our military? If so, I want to personally thank you. Today I want to talk about how the Second World War impacted women and children, the impact on the country altogether, and how it impacted the men and fathers who served after their return home. My name is Abby, and I want to passionately say that to those who have served in our country, I'm forever grateful for y'all's ever-living sacrifice. First, let's talk about the women and children that were impacted during the war. In an article written by the National Council of Family Relations on March 1st of 2012, Ralph LaRosa wrote, "My father served in World War II, so in a way did my mother. In that she was employed for a while in a Brooklyn factory that manufactured gyroscopes for planes and ships. Women took on a major role on manufacturing goods that helped to serve and benefit the war. They also helped by manufacturing important items that were shipped overseas." In addition to that article, Ralph LaRosa wrote, "Children who too contributed to the war effort by being messengers in the U.S. Citizens Defense Corps and by soliciting monetary donations as victory volunteers. Children too also helped serve in the war, not only in the factories, those who were older were able to, but even in the smallest ways possible. Although it was super helpful, those kids didn't get to have the fatherly figure that they normally would have had without, having that war." So now that we've talked about the impact on the women and children, let's talk about the major changes to the country overall. In an online article posted by the National Park Service on August 18th of 2017, an unknown author wrote, "A shortage of white male workers led to an active recruitment by the U.S. government and American businesses to war industry jobs. Initially white middle-class women, then minority men, and lastly minority women. Citizens around the country helped to contribute to manufacture goods that were used throughout the war, and they also helped to supply jobs, which helped boost the economy. Women especially were brought into the workforce, which often led them to have a voice, which led to job opportunities in the future, which is what we can be thankful for today for us women." In addition to that article, the World War II period, they also quoted, "The World War II period resulted in the largest number of people migrating within the United States in the history of the country. Individuals and families relocated to industrial centers for good-paying war jobs and as out of sense for patriotic duty." So the amount of manufacturing that was done during the war was an economic boom to our country, and families around the globe or around the country were migrating from job to job to help to support their families. So now that we've talked about the impact on the country overall, let's talk about the impact to the men and fathers who came home after war and those changes for them. So in the article previously stated by the National Council of Family Relations, Ralph LaRosa wrote, "The congressional debate over whether the million fathers who had conceived a child or on before the date of the Japanese attack should continue to be exempt from the draft eventually decided that they should be in the pool of the recruits." So those fathers had no choice but to leave their families behind and not be able to see those children grow up. This left their children, like I said earlier, to grow up without that father figure, and some were led on the wrong path. In addition to that article, Ralph LaRosa also wrote, "My father kept looking for work and he couldn't find anything after the war. He was never able to get back on his feet." So although these men were very qualified in order to do those jobs, with all of the traveling from all the workers and the women who had taken those jobs, they were not able to find it. That left the hardships on those families who may have had one or two jobs from the women or children, but the men weren't able to do a job as well. So today I've talked about the impact on the women and children, the major changes over the country overall, and how the impact of World War II had affected the men and fathers. So again, I want to thank any of those who have served or are serving now. I'm not only thankful for your service, but your absolute sacrifice from you and your family. So thank you.